Fade in.
Last episode of The Mandalorian for season 2, we get Fennec Shan dodging a laser bolt. Now, Greg, you did a little bit of research on this. How fast does a laser bolt travel? I think we
Well, if they presuming that they travel the speed of light, then
no, they don't. It's still a projectile. It's a plasma projectile. It's not a beam. So it's it's like a bullet.
Well, let's just say it's. I'm gonna guess 10,000 meters a second.
And she's able to dodge it without being force sensitive, just
or
because
at least 1,000 meters a second. Like
Yeah.
aliens move fast. Like
they run.
The show. It's
they,
like
those ladies literally run through an entire ship of Imperial troopers, and they literally don't get shot. They literally don't get shot at once because they do. She dodges the bolt, but like it's almost like they're not being shot at. Like they can just literally run through, not taking any cover. It's so convoluted and stupid.
This is normal when Filoni writes because you see it all the time in Rebels. In Rebels, they're dodging 5 or 6 shots fired from 5 feet away, and it's not even the Jedi's that are doing it. You know, Sabine.
And it takes away from the Jedi. So what makes the Jedi's unique in their ability to deal with blaster bolts is that not that they're reacting to them when they're shot. They know before they know through the Force where the shots are going before they happen.
But in saying that, if they're being shot at enough, they know that they can't actually get all the bolts, so that they the best example that I can give is episode 1 when the droidekas show up for
I have a better one.
and Qui-Gon, and they've got to run away because they can't get through the shields, but they're going to get overrun by these true droidekas because the bolts are coming in too quick. They can't.
I have a better one.
What do you got?
Order 66.
Yeah, Kiari Mundi. He's standing there being shot at.
But then I have a counterpoint, and this speaks more to the stench of Disney Star Wars, right? So Clone Wars, the last, was it the last or second to last episode of the new season that came out this year, right? How does Ahsoka escape? She manages to deflect an entire room full of clone troopers' shots, not just so that they don't hurt her, but actually deflect them in a way up towards the ceiling to cut a hole in the ceiling that she escapes from.
Mm-hmm.
Literally,
really,
fucking Superman powers.
Bull
fucking shit.
I'll agree with
Bull
that.
fucking shit.
Hey,
But a Jedi Master can get gunned down by 6.
But I just also want to make this point. This is just coming off the blaster bolts for a second. Ahsoka's entrance, not her entrance so much. I've come to terms with that a little bit more. I still think that her cutting down those guys at the very beginning of that episode isn't very Jedi of her. Now, I know that she's not a Jedi, but she doesn't correct anyone in this, even though she corrects everyone in everything else. For me, I would have thought she would have used the Force, deflected bolts, all of that sort of thing to tie these guys up as opposed to actually killing them. That's my personal opinion. But then the way that she attacks the Mandalorian literally puts Grogu down, stands up, looks around for a little bit, uses his binocular thing, sees this animal off in the distance, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Ahsoka attacks him. No threat to her whatsoever. Nothing, she knows Mandalorians because she's worked with Bo-Katan and everything in Rebels, so she knows, Mandalorians can be on her side. Why isn't she just walking out there and speaking to this guy who's not threatening at all or anything like that? It seems very dark side, and then she talks about not being able to train Grogu because, she's seen the dark side before, blah, 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 blah. But there's another Jedi out, there's so much in this that just doesn't make sense. It's garbage television. You put it up against Cobra Kai. You even put this up against WandaVision, and WandaVision's okay. It's good, and it's written well enough, right? But you put this up against any of those, and it's garbage.
You can even put it
I'll go
against,
back.
You can even put it up against Batwoman, and Batwoman would be better written.
No. This is Batwoman with a budget, and I'll take EFAP's word on that because they're watching both, and they enjoy both for the laughs, for the lols. Although I know Rag, I will say I don't think Rags really likes Mandalorian. I think he's really over the Star Wars crap that we're getting. Sorry, Greg, what were you going to say? You wanted to go back to something?
I wanted to go back to that Ahsoka thing because I'm not ready to concede that opening thing. And I know a lot of people disagree with me, but like, here's the problem. Like, if her mission had a purpose, then I would be okay with her just running around and cutting these troops down, right? Mm-hmm. But her entire purpose of that whole series of events was to just threaten to come back later. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily think that's a Jedi thing. Is like, we're going to go in and just attack, but for no mission and to achieve no actual goal.
You're right.
She wants to fight Thrawn, but in that final... Sorry, Stig. In that final fight with that chick, right, that was one of the worst fights in all of Star Wars, aside from the sequel trilogy fights. But she gets disarmed by a lady with a fucking Beskar spear with one of her sabers, gets disarmed, and she doesn't use the Force to call it back or nothing. She just lets it go in the water. There's two moments in this where Din Djarin's fighting Moff Gideon and Ahsoka's fighting this chick, where they could have literally just slid down that thing, taken fingers off, and the fight would have been over because they can't wield a fucking weapon anymore.
Or just use Force powers. But going back to the thing, it would be akin to like Luke Skywalker. Imagine Luke Skywalker and the gang, you know, put Leia, Han, and everything with them. And their mission is to go and raid an Imperial base because they need something that's behind a wall. Mm. And they need to raid the base, get in there, and steal this device. Just call it a MacGuffin, whatever you want to call it. But they don't actually ever try to get the device. They just go in there, slaughter a bunch of troops, and then leave. Mm-hmm. That's not even... Forget about Jedi. That's not even good guy behavior. You just went in, slaughtered a bunch of troops, didn't accomplish a goal, and just left. It was like, I'm doing it for fun? Like, if she had no intentions of actually, like, entering the base at that point.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as what Tim mentioned before in regards to Bill Burr's character shooting the tanker at the base. He was just saying how, to the guy that he shoots at the table, he was just saying to him how, you know, was it good for them? Was it good for their families? Mm-hmm. Was it good for them? Yeah. And then what? He just killed another 10,000 of them at that base just because he wanted a bit of revenge. I mean, he killed the guy that fucking was sitting there going, you know, hail the Empire or whatever, long live the Empire.
Yeah. Well, if you go earlier in that episode, you see that shot when they get in there, when there's a one roving tank thing, and all these people are celebrating. There's a ton of freaking troops in this base, and that's just like in that one room. The whole room is packed with cheering stormtroopers, right? Yeah. Where did they all go? Because like only a few people actually pursued them out of the base, so the rest of them must be in there.
That's it. So, yeah, that's very true too.
He flat out killed them without regard, and that to me, like, to just go in there and slaughter a bunch of troops but not accomplish a mission is just not good behavior.
I don't care. Ready to fade out. No.